Hello everyone, this is Beastly Eel here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the latest episode of The Mandalorian. Um, Overall, I thought this episode was great, but let's get right into it. So the episode begins with everyone out in the courtyard. I don't really want to say courtyard because that's not the right term. They're outside the cave, and they're all training. They're all doing what Mandalorians are supposed to be doing. So there's games, there's sparring, um, there's challenges, and all that stuff. And they're blasting and all this, blah, 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 blah. And Jingarin, Jin, sorry, really wants um, Grogu to be a part of everything because he feels like if he's going to be a Mandalorian, he needs to be trained as one. So he wants Grogu to go up against the challenger, who has been kicking butt, taking names, and he puts out that Grogu's the next challenger and everything else, and they're not a big fan of it. They don't think it's a good idea, and he's like, "No, no, I'm his ward. I give permission." And so what happens is the challenger gets to decide. Um, well, he was calling him the challenger, even though he was the champion technically. But he was saying that he gets to choose. So he chose darts. So apparently in darts, it's the first one to hit three wins, and or the one who hits the most or whatever and wins. So they attach the darts to Grogu and obviously the other kid, and everyone's against it. But he's like, the only way he's going to stop being a foundling and become an apprentice is if he learns the way of the Mandalorian. And so they do this, and Grogu gets shot once, and he's like, looks at Jin like, "What? What do I do?" And he's like, "Just do what you need to do," and then gets shot again. And he's like, "Really?" And Jin's like, "No, no, it's safe. You can do what you need to do." So the kid goes to shoot him a third time. He starts Jedi forcing force jumping, flipping, and all this other stuff, and then shoots the kid three times in the chest with the darts, wins. So it proves that Grogu is much more skilled than they thought. And Bo-Katan was kind of like, "Did you train him on that?" And he's like, "No, no, he just had that in him already." And as this is happening, that big pterodactyl creature that we've seen a few times comes down, swoops in, and takes the loser away, grabs him, and flies off. They all try to go off with the jetpacks to follow it. Unfortunately, their jetpacks run out of fuel. They have to land. Bo-Katan seems to be the only one with a brain because she took her ship and followed it to where it was. So she comes back with the information. She tells them exactly where the nest is. Um, they're, really talking about their game plan and everything else. They explain that they can't use their jetpacks or their ships because it will alert the creature and most likely kill the kid. So they decide that they're going to land the ship at the base, walk it, and then climb up themselves. So Bo-Katan is the leader of this group. So she takes her ship, brings the how do I want to put it, the team over there, and they head out and they get to the base of the mountain and they're gonna make camp because they're gonna wait until first light and climb up. And she was asking Jin like, how do they eat? Because everyone's here, and he's like, oh no, 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 that's not how we do it. Everyone grabs their plates and they disappear. They go where they're separated from everyone and then take off their helmet to eat. And so she's about to get up to leave, and then one of the men explains to her that no, you're the leader. You get the privilege of eating by the fire. This is the way. And it's also really kind of cool seeing that. So they eat all that stuff. The next day, they start climbing up. When they get up there, we find out that the big guy with the jetpack is the father of the boy that got taken. But anyway, they climb up, they get to the nest without a problem. The big guy with the jetpack and the huge machine gun um, runs into the nest looking for his son. What happens is they find little um, pterodactyl babies, and that's when the mother pterodactyl comes. He goes into hiding, so does the rest of them, and the kid is in the stomach of the big pterodactyl. It regurgitates him and is about to feed him to the to the babies. They start attacking it. That's when the big guy gets bit down on, and then the creature grabs the boy and they fly off. That's when all of them jump into the air and start attacking and trying to slow down this creature. They start shooting nets, boas. How do you say it? Boas? The cable with the two big balls on the either end. And they start firing those flamethrowers, blasters, all that stuff, right? Just to try to get this creature to let go. Bo-Katan got close into the creature's mouth, stabbed it, and got it to release the big guy. She gets knocked around. That's when Jin comes in and actually releases the boy by doing damage to the foot. They attack it enough where the wings are unable to fully open, crashes into the water, and that's when another turtle alligator comes up and eats it. So they take the boy back, and that's the end of that part. So while they're away, um, Grogu goes with the blacksmith into the cave and to discuss um, what needs to be done and more of the training of the Mandalorian way. So what she does is she decides to make another piece of armor for Grogu. While this is going on, he's getting a flashback of Order 66. In this flashback, we see what we've already seen of his flashback, which is the four Jedis standing in front of him taking blaster hits from the clones. The difference is this goes much, much further into his past. Meaning, we see everything that happens for a decent amount of time. So the four Jedis get killed, which we are aware of. One of them gets him into the elevator, take him up. When he gets to the top, there's another Jedi waiting for him, and that one takes down clone troopers like it is nothing. I mean, that boy had two lightsabers, and he was taking them out like they were just, I don't know, scarecrows. Like that's how pathetic they looked compared to him. Um, he gets Grogu onto a speeder, or yeah, speeder, I guess is the best way to put it. They start to take off. They are being hunted down like crazy. Um, the bike has been shot multiple times. They're able to get to the location that they needed to. He had to like escape through like what was like a almost like a subway channel, but for ships. He barely made it out. Got Grogu to the ship that has been waiting for him. The rest of the crew of the ship comes out to protect the kid and the Jedi to get them off world against the clone troopers. They get into the ship, they take off, and they go into hyperspace and they escape. It was not easy, it was not fun, and that's all we got to see of his past, which is a lot more than we've seen definitely in episodes before, but still a lot more to be known because, I mean, there's still a big chunk of 50 years or almost 50 years of we don't know what was going on with him. So we'll definitely have to wait and see what happens with that, but definitely gave us a much better taste of kind of at least how he escaped. I think is the best way to put it. We don't know exactly how anything else happened, but at least we know how he escaped. That being said, um, a lot's just going on in general. But they get back to um, they get back to the camp, sorry. And they're all excited that the boy had lived, all that stuff, blah 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 blah. Bo-Katan had damaged armor, and she gets told that she needs to have repairs done. So the blacksmith takes her in, starts to make a new one, and she asked Bo-Katan if she wanted the night owl symbol put on, and she asked if she could have um, oh my gosh, can't think of the name of the creature. The creature she saw in the waters, and that's been the big lore of Mandalore. The first Mandalorians that tamed it and everything else. So she asked for that creature on her shoulder, which was done without a problem. But she was explaining to the blacksmith, "Is it weird that I saw it?" And she's like, "Nah, we see things all the time." She's like, "No, no, no, it was real." And the blacksmith's like, yeah, you'll see a lot of things when you actually follow the way of the Mandalore. And it was kind of very dismissive, but that's how the episode ends. Um, and what I think that was coming out of was the fact where the blacksmith's like, because you are following the way of the Mandalorian, you're going to see things that most Mandalorians don't get to see because you are following the way, which I think is a huge thing, almost like the Force type thing, like their equivalent, I guess you would say. And what I mean by that is kind of like their mantra, their essence around them and stuff like that. Not so much like the actual Force abilities, but like their religion, I guess the best way to put it. And we definitely get to see her really going more towards that, which I think is cool. We also get to see why Grogu really doesn't like his past. Not a lot of good stuff. Not a lot of good stuff, that's for sure. And then we also get to see the Mandalorians work together, which I thought was really cool. And I'm definitely excited to see where the next episodes go, but also have no idea where it's going. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just stating that like we haven't really seen anything too bad that makes me think like there's going to be a big huge fight at some point. But you know what I mean? It's one of those tough things where it's really unclear. So we'll have to wait and see. Overall, super excited about. I was very happy with this episode. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you not like it? And why? And as always, if you like the content you see, please like and subscribe below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a great night.